Mental health is important. If you are experiencing any level of mental distress or unease, please seek professional help. Therapists and psychiatrists are there to provide a safe and reliable space to process stress and difficult situations through various methods. They are there to provide preventative and post-care for such things. If you are experiencing a situation that requires immediate or emergency attention, please check the links below for crisis and emergency options. You can also find links below to charities that help children in need. Any help you can provide would be appreciated. Our social media, Ko-Fi, Throne, and Discord server are linked below as well. The Discord is a community gaming space with a completely optional section for Dungeons and Moogles.
Alrighty. So, last time on the High Road, we started with not Tempest, as she had been diving into battle, but with Geraldine, who had been awake and in the fortress. You had gone upstairs with the intent to mess with Twilight, but decided not to. And as you were returning back to what you were doing, you noticed that Tempest was missing. You woke up Wrath, and on your way out, you noticed that Pydus was awake again. The three of you then began to make a mad dash over towards Tempest's location after briefly contacting her. By the time you had gotten there, though, Tempest had already torn apart the Citadel spider that had been attacking the three Keinherst mercenaries. Through a little bit of conversation with them and kind of checking the area, you discovered that Zethia, the head general under Pazuzu, had summoned these spiders to attack the Keinherst mercenaries. Wrath, using a scroll of scrying, went to check in on her location to discover that she was nearby watching and listening to all of you. In addition to what you had already discovered, you learned that the reason they were doing this is because they are trying to limit the number of potential allies that Tempest may have in the future, to make it more difficult if all of you decide to turn on Pazuzu after the magical pact has run its course. She also had told everybody about the reason Pazuzu was doing this all, his reach for divinity, and the fact that he figured either he would be able to have the divinity and have a powerful place in the world at the end of everything, or he would end up becoming a bar in the cage that imprisons the forgotten deity. The conversation was fairly well cut short, though, as all of you were just pissed off at her, and she didn't really want to talk to you anyways. So you went with the Keinherst mercenaries back over to the camp, and with some amount of discussion through that night and the next morning, Tempest basically got put in a position where she has to decide whether these mercenaries are going to join all of you in your fight against the Keinherst, run away to the Incendium Populace where they can escape the wrath of the Hunrum Republic's military that they're abandoning, or potentially just get sent back to the Keinherst in general. Tempest and Wrath, the two of you did talk about it a little bit. Tempest wants Wrath to have a discussion with them to form a second opinion on what to actually do with them. Wrath, you have stood on your belief that these Keinherst are cowardly, and that they will just go with whoever they think is most likely to protect them of a sort, or whatever will keep them alive the most in the moment. That their loyalty would be fleeting. Geraldine, you also had a brief discussion with Thulvatra that helped to confirm what was said about the Song of Creation, creating the prison that keeps the forgotten deity trapped, as well as at least the information that you got from Zethia is more or less true, even if it's only half-truths and there may be more to the story. At the moment, it is about 9 a.m., though. You all are 2 nights into your long rest, except Tempest, who got reset when she ended up in combat, so she is only at 1 night of her long rest. You have downtime.
And if I remember correctly, sorry for interrupting, we also had we converted a lot of fragment. I mean, quite some fragment.
Yes, that is right. I had forgotten. You did spend time converting torment fragments into hope fragments as well. And you've decided that you'll do just like 1 or 2, every day or rest that you decide to take. That way it's not putting too much pressure on your souls to try doing so. As you notice, the difficulty of doing so was ramping up rapidly with each one you did.
That's why we should choose that way. And I think if I remember correctly, for everyone can just tell me no. We pretty much reconvey during breakfast in the morning, and we were going to have another just 1 or 2 days of resting and 1 or 2 days of converting fragment. And everyone agree on that? Is everyone on the same page?
Yes.
You're taking a long rest.
Yes.
I think Geraldine will also, because we are having, a conversation during breakfast. She's, making things for everyone, putting bacon on plates, tofu on Star for Star and other things like this, be her usual self, she will also ponder the question, guys, where we are right now. I mean, not on the road, but we're in our journey. What's our goals? Where we think we are heading towards? Because I think that our nicely team should be aligned on the things that are coming.
Well, first and foremost on my mind is we're marching to war. We're gathering these relics as I've been instructed to do. We're completing the mission to clear out this high road. But really, and he's looking over at Tempest as he says it, at this point, we're marching to confront the Keinherst, I think.
Yeah, because I think that, cleaning up the road is becoming kind of a secondary things at the end of the day.
I'd say it's happening passively.
And what
As
about
a
you?
whole.
Sorry, what?
I mean, as a whole, everyone can have different things they're trying to do, but it's all lining up to go the same path.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is the reason why you should talk about it, yeah, right? So everyone knows what they expecting from each other. Example, my dear, you never ask me if I want to join you in this little crusade with the Keinherst. I mean, yes, but we never actually said it out loud, are we?
That's pretty fair.
And I think everyone deserves to know what, like I said, is being expected. Because at the end of the day, we are all in this together.
I guess you could say it felt implied. Our objective was pretty much set in stone some time ago. But what is your goal anyway in sticking it out with us?
Collecting. And so far, I've been able to discover so much about the road and the Keinherst and the fragment. I'm a person of the study things, so this has been very fruitful for me.
You might like the ending, though. That's for sure. There's a grand library there. Once it's all said and done, you'll have all the access to all these hidden knowledges that most people won't even know.
That's wonderful. The thing is that, books give me, I would say, a very, like 50% of the complete view on things. But that's enough about me. What about you, Pius, and you, Wrath? Because there is more than just following your girlfriend into battle for you and find out about amygdala for you. Not shaming here, just understanding.
Honestly, after all of this journey that we've been on, I strive to find my purpose.
Aren't we all?
Lost in time and space, life and existence can get meaningless very quickly. When you're living multiple lifetimes, it's rough, and I know that I'm destined for something. That is where my mind is as of right now.
Mm-hmm. Still looking for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fair, absolutely fair. We all should strive to find your purpose, our purpose, of course.
Yes.
And I look, and I smile and I look at Pius. Can I do an insight check on something? And Pius, I tell you why I'm looking at you and I'm rolling, because I try to understand if you're telling me only partial of your truth.
Okay.
My insight is not great, but what a try. It's a 14.
I'm gonna roll one of my skills against it.
Do it.
You get the feeling that Pius is being genuine. He's not hiding anything.
Geraldine just smiled, happy with your answer, and turned to look Wrath, because you didn't answer yet.
Wrath, who, whenever you ask the question, started digging in his bag, pulls out a little pipe, and using some magic, lights the end of it, takes a long puff, and out flies like little bats of smoke for a second. I started this journey as a pilgrimage, a spiritual journey, trying to find answers as to what happened on that boat. Since then, lots changed, and I feel like the debt that maybe I owed Risha is more owed to all of Maluviette, the things we've seen the Keinherst be a catalyst for. Whoever is causing all of this madness and chaos, they need to be stopped.
Trying to be the devil advocate here, not to be, I'm not a bad guy. I'm just trying to understand exactly like every one of you. So, these people are making chaos. These people are, the bad people, the bad guys. Do we know exactly what they are doing this? And not just, an idea of a supposition. Do we know exactly what is their real goal? in all of this?
I don't think we
You
do.
all kind of hear a knock at the door of the fortress.
I'll get it.
Thank you.
I'll go over and open the door.
The elven woman who, from the mercenaries, is standing there.
I know it's kind of rude to eavesdrop. I meant more to wait until you were all done discussing, but there are things that have bothered me about our time out here. And after our conversation with Tempest, we all were talking more. I think, at least at the moment, Lord Keinherst's goal is to find something. Your journey down the high road, you're supposed to be clearing it out. We're, all out here searching, cataloging, and all of that, but we're not even really covering the entirety of the Malpheus Mountains. It's such a small range. We weren't prepared. This was practically a suicide mission for most of us. And there was one order we were given that doesn't quite seem to stand in line properly with everything. Everyone was told that if we find any artifacts and return them to the Lord Keinherst, we would be rewarded with a 10,000 gold reward for each one we find if we find multiple. No descriptions, nothing like that, just objects of power.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And mind if I ask you something, my dear? And I invite her to sit down.
She takes your invitation and, of course, nods and is like, yeah, you can ask away.
So you just said something very interesting here. After she sat down, I put some food in front of her, and I literally towering behind her, whispering close to her, kind of in a predatory kind of pose. You said that you were doing a kind of a suiciding mission for this. So question is, why accepting?
None of us...
Yeah, please.
I mean, none of us knew it was a suicide mission. But after last night, after some of the things I've heard about the other units and what they've encountered, I'm pretty sure that the Lord Keinherst knew exactly what was going to happen. He's not an idiot. As cruel as he is, he's smart. Most of his missions, at least what they've presented to the public, there's over a 95% survival rate compared to any other kingdom, any other military. That's leagues above normal. This man knows how to keep people alive if it meets his ends. I don't think he cares about us, though.
Yeah, but he still wants those artifacts. Interesting. So question is, why send in someone that will probably die to find something you really want?
Probably expects to get information more than anything. And whatever he's looking for, he probably doesn't want people to know either. If we get back information and die in the process, he gets everything he wants in that.
Yeah, he gets exactly what he needs. He doesn't need to pay you, and he gets everything he is looking for free. You said something about the fact that this man is cruel and etc., but he's very smart. I will add a little, wisdom on that. You need to be incredibly smart to be evil. If you are not, you're just a joke. Anyway, enjoy your bacon.
She kind of just sits there. She's deep in thought, trying to figure something out.
I bet.
But she doesn't really respond or anything. She seems almost tune out everyone around her in the moment.
Tempest kind of gets up, walks over to like a window, looking outside. Artifacts, you say? Honestly, I think we can all guess what the main thing is that he's looking for.
The dagger?
Right. Exactly.
Maybe it's more than that.
Oh, it's definitely more than that. But it's a good guess, my dear. Very good guess.
I mean, at the end of it all, at the very least, it's the key. The main primary thing. They've been worried that it's lost. They don't know where it is. They don't know that it's been found.
You don't know that. If they're looking for more than just the dagger, they could know exactly where it is. And are just continuing their search for the rest.
The question is, they do know where the door is.
Door?
If the dagger is the key, where do they know where the door is? And if they do, and they know exactly what's on the other side of it, they need something to protect themselves. Because everything that is being locked up in a prison for a long time is really looking forward to get out violently.
They may know where the door is, but no matter how smart they are, they have no idea what's on the other side. It's nothing compared to what they're probably imagining.
Yeah, they made educated guess.
Anyway, I'm sorry, you're probably wondering what the heck we're even rambling on about, referring to the quiet one.
You can see that her face has gone from thought to anger. She's clenching her fists, and without her armor on, like, you can actually see her hands, and they've started to turn white from how hard she's balling them up.
A copper for your thumb, my dear. I gently put one of my very cold big hand on her shoulder.
When she speaks, it's barely above a whisper, and she almost seems to, like, hiss it out.
Damn him. Damn them all. We're not just toys to be thrown away, to be played with. We are people.
Mm-hmm. I know it's going to sound really harsh, my lovely lady. And I crouch down and I look her into the eyes and I said, you're nothing. For their point of view, you're nothing. You sell yourself to the people that do the highest bid. You're just tool and cannon fodder. And I'm not saying this because I agree with them. I just let you know what they think and your value.
As you finish talking, you all hear as someone slams their hand on the still open door frame.
Damn it!
Yeah.
No, Tempest, we said we were going to do whatever you said, but if you're going for them, I'm joining. And if you don't let me, I'll do it on my own.
The tiefling woman is standing in the doorway, and her face is so flushed with anger, it's almost turned white from the pinkish tones that it had before.
Mm-hmm. I send a message to Tempest, and this, my dear, is your cue to bring all of them to your side. And I step in the corner.
Return message. I think it was already established. And I walk up to the one who banged on the door, just like inches away from their face, eye to eye, serious tone. If you are 100% serious with what you have just declared, then there's only one really important thing that you must abide by going forward. If you're going to follow, then you must do it exactly as I say.
Follow you into the depths of hell and just die for something as stupid as the Lord Keinherst's decisions.
The dwarven man kind of steps around her as he speaks, acknowledging what you said in agreement to do so at the same time.
Wrath, who never really left the front entryway and has just been leaned against the wall, smoking on his pipe, kind of looks over. You could just live, not dirty your hands with all of this mess. You really think you could stand up to these people? Us, who are unsure in our own capabilities, stand before you, and you really think you stand against them?
I don't think it matters whether we can do it or not. The fact is, you're right. Sellswords. That's how they see us. They see us as nothing, to things to be bought and sold. Damn it, there is something. There's a path in front of us that we can choose to take. Maybe we're not the heroes in this story, but every hero needs someone by their side. Whatever we can do, we will do.
Pippus glances at Wrath. It just gives that smile of like that just smug smile, like, yeah, they're sticking with.
Mm-hmm.
Wrath kind of huffs out a thing of smoke. Fine, you'll need to be trained properly. One more thing, talk of heroes. The true heroes in all of the books you've read are those who support the ones you read about. And he's gonna walk outside.
Settle down for the time being, the three of you. Give me a moment to get things sorted out. If it make you feel any better, they tried to get rid of me too in the beginning. They had hoped that I would die out there. I thought it was worth something to push through and come back. And what did I get? This shitty life that they've bestowed upon me. To be a blade. What an empty title it is. But I'm standing before you as the prime example that you can carve out your own fate. You're already on a good pathway to doing so. And she wanders off to another part of the fortress.
Well then, how about the three of us gear up? If we need to be trained right, better get ready then.
The three of them then kind of get themselves together as they start to turn around and head back to the instant fortress that you gave them.
As they leave our fortress for their own, they do see Wrath still puffing on the pipe that's just hanging by Fang at this point, as he's like removing clothing to be bare chested and just setting anything he had to the side of like an open area.
Okay, how about the rest of you?
I mean, Geraldine kind of psychological touch on all of this has already been done for her point of view. Putting those, mercenary in front of the harsh truth was just a way to help. This is what she think, a way to help Tempest to prove her point, to make sure that, they were understanding you. If you choose this, you're not going to be, mercenary anymore. You are, you're not a sellsword anymore. So satisfied by this, she will observe them and in the meantime, go back to her artistic development. Keep carving and making those skulls to look beautiful. And in the meantime, also updating her notes in order to make sure that everyone she exactly knows what everyone is going and where we are going as a team, not just for the mission. Plus, she will start to put together all the information about the Keinherst she already has, between what she read into Tempest Diary and Wrath Diary, and she will also ask information about them to Pius, but not just as like tell me what you know, but tell me what you think. So this is pretty much what I'm going to do.
Okay. Tempest, how about you? As you head to another part of the fortress, what are you doing?
First thing I'm gonna do is contact Patches.
My, how early in the day? What can I do for
Well, I need a thing. I gotta contact my aunt, and it needs to be quick. It's kind of important and time sensitive. I was hoping you could help me get an item that could make that happen.
Well, I could provide you with a scroll, one-time use, a ring that could let you do it once per day, and it could be sending a short message that they can respond to mentally immediately, or a message if you wanted to send a little bit longer of a notification to them.
And what exactly would be longer with through a message? Are we talking a few days or more? Or a few hours?
No, I mean like a longer message.
Ah, well, it's as you said, it is morning. But yeah, I'll take one of those for the time being. And, by the way, I was curious about something that I wanted to see if it could be made, but I guess that would involve talking to your sister at some point.
Well, you could talk to her right now if you wanted to.
Ah, both early birds, huh?
Well, neither of us really sleeps. We don't really need to.
Before it continues, DM, do you remember what we discussed in relation to the skull helmet?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that with the punk, I'm passing that across as a message to them, like a request slip.
Okay. I made a mistake in my understanding of the spell message, so it would be sending. So what I need to know is if you want a ring that'll let you do a random singular sending per day to anybody, or if you just wanted a spell scroll, a one-time use, it would be cheaper to do the scroll.
I'll take 2 scrolls just in case.
Okay.
And then this, I have it all written down. This is what I would like your sister to do for me.
So the 2 scrolls are going to be 130 gold. And then you just remind me, was it I'm trying to remember which one you settled on. Was it the Torment Vision or the other option that you were looking for right now?
I forget what the other option was too. I'm gonna be honest.
Blind sight?
You know what?
Oh, no, my bad, because the Torment Vision acts as a form of blind sight itself. Sorry. The other one was the whole, targeting weakness, in other creatures.
Oh, yeah. Oof. I'm gonna go with the... I like the roleplay too much. I'm gonna go with the Torment Vision.
Okay.
And I just subtracted the 130 gold for the first thing.
All right. So the Torment Vision is a very rare 25k. So you see as Patches switches over to Patchette, and the difference is really weird because you basically just see this blue shimmering up his body replaced by a near identical body. The biggest difference just being a large pair of breasts.
Oh, finally making use of my services, are we? What can I do for you, Tempest?
Well, I'm not the best at explaining, but I make sure to write it all down. It's just the key components are going to be this, and I remove my headpiece, and this, and I hold out the hope chunk.
Wow, that's going to be some tricky magic to work with. Let's say 25,000 gold, and give me 24 hours.
That's it? Ha, I knew you could do it.
Well, it is my specialty after all.
Well, even though I don't contact the two of you often, I do appreciate the assistance. I look forward to seeing the final results of this.
You see her as she extends her hand outward to take the skull from you.
Okay.
After you've handed it over and the gold has vanished from your coin pouch, she just fades away the same way you're used to seeing Patches just kind of disappear.
Ah, she took the other piece, right?
Yes, my apologies. I forgot to say that.
Alrighty. Huh. I forgot what it's like to not have 5 pounds around my neck. Well then, I got 24 hours to kill. And her next goal is going to be working on the message to send to her aunt.
All right. Geraldine, Pius, let's turn over to you and your conversation.
Okay.
Okay. So do you prefer me to, ask you in character, or do you?
Yeah. It'd be better that way, I think.
Oh no, silence.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, there was a moment with, I I I switched off my microphone by mistake. Sorry, guys. I went very, just to make sure then you get everything. I get very serious, come closer, and for once I don't need to lean down because we are almost similar in height. And I go, Pius, you have a very, I will say your mind is a steel trap like mine, but for different reasons. And you got so much nice and joyous information in that thick skull of yours. Take it as a compliment.
What are you getting at, Geraldine?
Keinherst, I need to know what you think of them. And whatever information do you have to help me figure out their final goal. Knowing to beat your enemy, you need to think and know your enemy.
They remind me of what I used to go through when I worked under Acrid. Distancing, power, it's all that's important to them. However, not all the Keinhersts are bad. It is just the ones running the show, as far as I can tell.
I mean, yes, of course. We don't want to, cut down everything. We are not the Reaper in this, big ocean of width. We are going to just cut the head of the snake. But in order to do so, we need to follow the thread and get to strike in the right point at the right moment. So this is the reason I'm asking. Every information you can spare is definitely helpful.
That is a loaded question. Give me a second.
All the time you want.
Pius is going to go into sentry mode, and he is going to try and access in his memory banks, his hard drive, all of the information that he knows on the Keinherst. I think Jess said she will go into a bathroom break.
Yep.
Okay, I return.
When you
Hold
need.
on. What's the question?
Pius is going to go into sentry mode and then access his memory banks, his hard drive of everything he knows about the Keinherst.
Okay. Give me a history check.
24.
Yeah. So the most prominent piece of information about the Keinherst is that they've been a noble family, confirmed at that, to be a noble family back to roughly the Third Era. It's been a solid 8,000 years that they have been in a position of authority. Originally, they are from the Incendium Populous continent in modern times, but from a time where there were hundreds, thousands of countries spread across the world. They managed to spread out and develop the 8 family branches during the last era, really, because that's when the various cultures, races, and humanity as a whole really began to integrate worldwide. They've also typically always been kind of the main backer of any significant wars throughout history as well. They've acted as advisors if they're not the leading ruling family or class within areas. They regularly vie for, that other country, well, they have this monumentally powerful artifact. We should take the advantage and try to take it from them to increase the power of our country. There have been many points through history where powerful artifacts have been lost, while in the hands of the Keinherst nobility as well. They're also a family plagued by inner conflict. Because each of the 8 branches obviously wants to be the head branch of the Keinherst family. In particular, though, for the most part, it's either been the Maldrek branch that Tempest is from, or the Eldwin branch that you are currently heading towards and is currently the head family. The signifying marker of them has always been this very ornate dagger with their insignia engraved into the pommel. This dagger has been missing for about 1,000 years, roughly, just a little less than 1,000. And it went missing immediately after the Eldwin branch claimed being head of the family. You also notice in your memory banks, though, as you get little pieces of information from the future that would have been the past from your time with Dr. Reifel, historically speaking, the Keinherst family seemed to disappear in the middle of the war between angels and demons. Most historians have no idea what happened to the family until a little over 1,000 years after that war, or after they went missing, a singular member of the Keinherst family by the name of Rera, along with her allies, managed to rebuild the Keinherst empire that eventually took over the entire world, becoming a unified presence above everything. You also get that particular moment in time was considered a utopian era where poverty, crime, hunger, discrimination of all sorts seemingly vanish from the world.
Seemingly. Question about this time that you're talking about. It was the time where the dagger was kind of became the emblem, or that came later?
That is the future from where you are now.
Okay.
The Keinherst family, according to Pius's records, disappears sometime in the future from where you are now, during the War of Angels and Demons that has yet to start. And then everything else further in the future from there.
I'm sorry, just a moment of misunderstanding on my side. Please carry on.
You're good. But even those records seem to include, with Rera, her and her closest confidant, a woman whose first name was lost to history, but last name persevered. Maluviette was seen carrying an ornate dagger that matched the description of the Keinherst blade.
Okay. I will relay all of that to Geraldine as I come back out of sentry mode.
They have been around for quite some time.
And do you know what it means?
No.
They have two things on their disposal. A very good way to keep power and a lot of enemy. You don't rule for such a long time without making ripples, without making enemies.
Do you?
Yeah?
Do you think that there's someone else pulling the strings, using the Keinherst, giving them the power they have?
It's a very good point, don't you think?
Because if they are mere mortals, they shouldn't have this much power.
Right. And who is, according to your notes from the future, like you call them, is going to be a war between two very powerful entities out there. And one of them, we just spoke with one of their general yesterday night.
So you're saying it could be the demons then?
It could be. Unfortunately, that I have proof.
Well, it certainly can't be the angels.
Yeah, I don't think that they are the kind of family that will make a deal with the angels,
Right.
Or vice versa. Because what I know about them are not the angelic type, are they?
Going over all of those notes, that information that I had, makes me wonder that Tempest has a magical bond, a contract with Pazuzu.
Mm-hmm.
What if the rest of the family does too? And that's why they go missing?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I don't know. It's all speculation now, but...
Of course it is, my friend. Of course it is. Unfortunately, that's it. We don't have proof. But what we have is a very powerful weapon. And I, hit my shell on top of my head.
Guys, there's one piece of information in this that does kind of bother you a little bit. And that's that this Rera Keinherst in the future, who brings back the Empire, that her main confidant, their last name is Maluviette. This is a name you've heard on the road many times at this point. I mean, the whole thing with the dagger and Tempest is that the heir of the Maluviette expects that it will eventually end up in their hands.
And what of Maluviette? Do you know anything about them?
And I'm going to ask the GM if she can help me on this matter, because right now I don't seem to have find any information on my notes. Do you want me to roll on something, or?
No, you're good. There's only one piece of information, regarding the last name Maluviette. One of the knights of the Keinherst, the top-ranking members of Lord Eldwin's military force, the one that took you to the portal that got you to the Highroad, their last name was Maluviette.
Okay. I don't remember I don't remember them telling me their surname. I remember, telling me names, but I trust you that I know in some kind of way that's at least that part of information. And I share it with Pius.
All this information and no answers.
It's not a big part of the fun. You have so much to do, so much to discover. And honestly, more we get down the road, more this thing's getting kind of an entangled web of conspiracy, informations, and another things that we can use to our own vantage. We need to scheme against the schemers.
So, outsmart them.
Because there is one thing that every person that scheme to control the other has in common. They think they are smarter than you.
They don't expect us, I don't think, to betray them at least. But I do think they might underestimate us just a little bit.
Oh, sure. I can tell you this already. They were, for their point of view, we are just a little bit more powerful than the people they sent here to die. Because after you pave the way with the corpses of who you can sacrifice, you send the people that can clean up. And that's what we are. But for their point of view, we are still just cleaners.
Yeah, I think we can do it. It's just going to take some planning. I'll have to run some diagnostics, maybe some scenarios inside of my head. There's gotta be something.
Looking forward to speak again about this. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to enjoy a little bit of me time. And I just go and grab my tools, like I told you before.
Okay. So, Wrath, it sounded like you were preparing for training?
If they come back for it.
They absolutely do. It takes them about 10 minutes or so to fully get ready just because of how long it takes to put on full plate. But they do come back about 10 to 15 minutes later.
Well, didn't expect to see you all here. I won't trust someone with a blade at the back of Tempest until you prove to me that I can. He gets up from where he was seated. See, it took you all long enough to prepare yourselves. I hope you're talented with those weapons.
I'll be honest. We're more adept at defense than offense. But we do know our way around a blade. Well, except for her.
You see the tiefling who isn't wearing armor and is wearing a gi, has been the whole time, as she begins to take a fairly standard offensive stance.
Fine. Whatever your preferred methods are. Let me see what you have. Come on, hit me. Sword, fist, axe.
All right, my question is, are you taking the dodge action as they come at you?
Nope, not at first.
They all fall short of just hitting your basic AC, but as they come at you, they start trying to utilize each other's attacks and openings to form a circle around you, flanking you.
Good, you're thinking. You're using each other to benefit. And he's still in a relatively calm pose, just kind of looking between them all, kind of watching to see which one would make the first move.
Well, this is the basic tactic that got us through last night.
Man.
That's what works.
Wow, with a whopping 13, the first one that comes at you is the tiefling, as she attempts to throw a punch from behind you.
Wrath just doesn't even look, just kind of moves to the side almost effortlessly. Come on, it's got to be more than one of you if you want to actually take someone by surprise. I still see you back there. Here, maybe this will make it more fair. And he'll pull out of his pocket the bit of cloth he had used to blind himself whenever they were in the crypt.
As you start pulling it out to put over your eyes, the dwarf and elf both attempt to take their shots at you, coming in at about a 22.
He doesn't casually do it this time. Instead, he kind of jumps out of the way of both of their attacks at the same time and lands as he's still pulling up, like as if he's not paying attention to them, pulls up the thing and wraps it around his head, then looks back up at the three of them. I think they would get an attack of opportunity even as I jumped away, if you want to take it.
Roll acrobatics or athletics.
Athletics it is. 27.
27 is enough to escape her 23 as the monk attempts to grapple you while you jump back. Her arms do start to wrap around, but you push her off.
Come on, this is the best you have? You expect me to allow you to defend your commander with this?
Where's my document? There's my document. Oh boy, they have no way to really increase this, increase anything. They're just gonna more or less, like, they keep trying to take openings, create moments, grapple you. Everything falls short, but you can tell that after that comment, though, there's an absolute intensity behind all of their eyes, behind all of their movements. At that point, they don't even start holding back the amount that you normally would expect out of sparring. Their strikes seem to almost be an attempt at lethality, understanding that that's the only way they can even come close to trying to get you.
What I would like to do is, over the course of this, have them exhaust themselves, essentially. Give everything until they just can't anymore. And if I need to, at any point, if it's like they begin, succeeding, then I'll activate a blade song if need be, just to boost my AC. But I'd like to get out of it as unscathed as possible. So So if I need to start taking the dodge action, etc. But at the end of it, with them all three exhausted, we'll kind of stand over them all, pull the blindfold off. I can tell you all are passionate about what you've told Tempest. You see now, just partially, what you may be in for if you join this fight. I'd like to see you all join this fight, and I'd like to see you all succeed a lot more than you are. If you're still here tomorrow, you'll train again, and prepare to be just as exhausted by the end of the day. I'll say it again. You'll need to earn my respect if you plan to have a blade behind Tempest's back. Good job. I hope to see you all tomorrow. And he'll turn and walk away, gathering his things up.
As you start to turn and go away, does a 25 hit your AC? I don't think it does.
Nope.
The tiefling makes one last attempted strike at you as you turn.
For this one, because he has blind sight, so he can see her coming in, and he'll kind of move his body out of the way of the blow and grab the wrist and spin and not disarm her, but attempt to just punch her in the chest with his other hand. That's where is it? 27 to hit.
That hits.
And as he hits, because of our recent level up, I'm going to change the damage type to fire. Thinking, is she a red tiefling? Let me ask this first.
A red tiefling? Yeah.
Okay, then I will change the damage to fire for the blow. Just as a show of force, as I hit her for 10 points of fire damage. A big gush of flames comes out of... I don't even physically impact her. The blow kind of stops just in front of her chest where she can see, and just a gout of flame slams into her.
She falls back, too exhausted to keep herself upright from the force.
Well, it was worth a try. I can't even get you, and you're walking away, though. I've got a long way to go.
There's a smirk that creeps up Wrath's mouth. Like I said before, use every advantage you can think of. I would start thinking of some more if I were you lot. Well done. Turn and walk away again.
As you walk away, the other two kind of just fall on their asses, and you can tell they're trying to regulate their breathing so they're not hyperventilating or anything, as their heart rates are definitely spiked through the roof and they're all just pouring sweat, because you've been going at it for nearly 10 minutes.
I'll just leave them there and head back towards the fortress.
Okay. So now we need more what you would finish out the rest of this 4 hours with of the downtime. As far as downtime activities go,
I think after that he would probably go take a nap, honestly. Not for 4 hours, but waking up he would probably just draw maybe in his book a little bit. Nothing strenuous or anything.
So we can treat this downtime period for you as thorough rest. Do you want to roll and basically roll a free hit die for health recovery? Do you want to just take advantage on strength dex con checks until your next long rest finishes? Do you want to recover a singular spell slot equal to or lower than 4 in level?
I'll recover a spell slot.
Okay. You recover a 4th level or lower spell slot. Pius, you wanted to run Sims, though, for the moment?
Yeah, some kind of statistics on what would be the best course of action to approach that situation with the Keinherst.
So that would...
multiple scenarios.
All right. So that would fall under the commune section. So foreshadowing or guidance. I can give you hints and clues about what you might be dealing with once you get there to the end of the high road. Or if you have a specific question you would like an answer for, I can give you an answer. Something on a more specific level than a general level.
What is a weakness that the Keinherst have?
The information you kind of get through all of this, there's an overwhelming, obvious flaw that they all have. At least those within the authority making decisions. They are all overconfident to the point that they will not fight seriously until their lives truly seem to be threatened. They will pull punches for a significant portion of the fight, which leaves them very susceptible, of course, to early on heavy barrages.
Pius is going to write that down. Well, he's going to store it in his head. Type it with his little fingers.
Okay.
And then he's kind of nodding to himself.
Geraldine, you were going back to your
skull making
correct?
incision. Yeah, we can consider it, like a form of crafting and sculpting and etc. And now that I have at least a couple of pieces in my possession between the massive spider one and the hog, like the boar that I bought, I started to actually put in motion what was my idea behind this. I learned in the past 20 years how to extract information from bones. And I usually, share those information with my Patreon. It's a power that she's giving me, and now it became like a second nature to me. I'm trying to do the opposite. and try to store informations. So all this carving and etc. I've been doing in the past few days are actually imbued with, subtle runes and magical carving to help me in the process. I'm not sure if then, I'm going to definitely succeed. I'm I'm making you aware of what I'm trying to achieve.
Okay. So
Because
kind of
if I
like a magical
Mhm.
journal of sorts.
Yes, with the difference as if I can store information, I can store spells.
Okay. Okay. Let me
And yeah,
pull up spell
and not
storing ring.
yeah, because at the end of the day, spells and etc. are just information. And if I can have an access to, like I don't see that I see that there's going to be some sacrificial parts in the components. It's not like, oh, you can use it infinite amount of time. It's probably like 1 or 2 times for each time I store the spell in. But if I can achieve that, I can use those bones and skull that I will collect from now on for as a personal tool to have more spells at my disposal, even if my spell slot don't allow it.
Okay.
Geraldine started a long journey. Of course, it's not something that she knows she's not going to be able to achieve in a couple of days.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be. Do you have proficiency with enchanter's tools?
I have proficiency with thief tools, but not with enchanting. So I need to develop
Okay.
a new thing.
All right. So you can take this two ways.
Mhm.
You can start training to get proficiency with enchanter's tools.
Mhm.
Where your focus is more on developing the skill than actually reaching the goal with this. Or you can go at the enchanting side, where your goal is more focused on actually making the magic item.
No, I think I will go with enchanting tools because like she's not an enchanter. She's not a wizard. She's still a warlock, and for her, this is approached by with a very logical way. It's like bones are books, and I can write on books, so I will keep. I will make sure that I am going to have all the tools I need when I need them.
All right.
And just so you know, if I get to that point, the step that I'm trying to achieve after is the fact that if I give any of those bones to one of my companion, and they want to activate it, they can.
Yeah. Okay.
Still,
So
not.
that'll be the first of 10 rest periods to develop the proficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. But I gave myself a very good, I would say, role play reason in game to start to do those things, and now you are aware of the mechanical part of it.
Yep. All right.
Um,
Tempest, how about you for this first rest period?
Thanks. Did I finish making the letter out to my aunt?
Yeah, you would have had more than sufficient time to do that.
Cool, I got to double read it, make sure I checked it thoroughly. Cool. I think for the first bit.
It's got to be 25 words or less.
Okay, cool. But for the actual down periods, that's a 4-hour block.
Yeah, that's not going to take long in that. So,
Alright. Yeah, for this next set of downtime, when I finish up with what I'm doing and start putting stuff away, the second scroll that I bought as an extra, any writing tools, I put that away. I take a moment to stop and realize or take notice of something that I had forgotten that I had been carrying on my person this whole time. And seeing this closed letter that I was supposed to actually transport as my original goal, I decide to wander off for a bit to a more secluded area nearby. And probably spend, honestly, a good 20-30 minutes just looking at this before deciding to open it up to finally see what it is.
okay. As you open it up, the initial paragraph written is all the formalities, the pleasantries. It's your biological father's praising, oh my lord, to the Lord of Eldwin. But after that, he's written about how demons have begun to make a move, specifically coming for them in search of the Soul Drinker artifact, and that he believes, based on their behavior and the way they were searching, they were looking for you just as much as they were looking for Soul Drinker. Something about you had caught their attention, and you had become a secondary objective. He sent you on the road because he believes that during your journey, you'll find Soul Drinker. And this letter was meant to be a warning to the Lord of Eldwin to watch his back, because you are volatile and may turn on him with that dagger in your possession.
Commotion could have an aura. Oh my, would the anger aura be building up all around? Just, if that was all that it said, she crumples that thing up and draws her scythe and just goes for a full rage swing on a nearby tree.
They make the hit.
Do I get advantage on a tree that can't do anything?
Absolutely.
29.
More than sufficient. Roll the damage.
She lets out one hell of a yell of anger or rage when she swings this.
And you still have your scythe set to fire, which
Yep.
doubles those 4d6 at the end there, adding 12 to the damage for 36 damage total. Which this isn't necessarily the largest tree, so you manage to slice straight through it. And as it begins to fall, you can see fire kind of catching up the bark on the sides. But its impact into the ground and the snow coming up puts it out, keeping it from starting an actual fire. And passive perceptions. Pius, you're the only one that doesn't hear her scream in anger.
Damn.
I'll go out
So,
to
Jen,
see
you
what's
say-
going on.
Yeah, you say the only one that doesn't or that does?
Does not.
Doesn't. Okay, so we heard it. Okay.
Yep.
Just to be sure. Yeah, Geraldine is definitely going to go and check.
Tempest, you see everyone except Pius, obviously Captain Flowers, and obviously Twilight. But everyone else, even the Keinherst mercenaries, they're all approaching you. The Keinherst mercenaries look exhausted at the moment, but they also seem to have some amount of concern on their face.
And now, for reference, I have shown this letter unopened before to everyone, haven't I? In the beginning?
Yes, you have shown it to Raph, Pius. Everyone except Geraldine in the party has seen this letter before.
Okay. It's up to Raph to notice it then, but it's opened and paper crumpled, like nearby where my bag is on the ground.
Yeah, Raph, Geraldine, you both would definitely notice it crumpled up on the ground. And both of you would also recognize the seal of the Keinherst, like the wax seal. It is broken, but it didn't get crumpled up, so you can still see it on the paper.
Geraldine
Hang on.
will. Sorry, please go.
I was just asking if everything was okay.
She turns enough to acknowledge, but not all the way around. Her hair kind of covering her eyes. I'm going to kill him. I need to kill him.
Of course, Tempest. Of course, you need to. We know that. We are all here to help you on the matter, right, Wrath?
Of course. What's got you so upset?
That.
Walk over and pick up the paper. You said it was on the ground.
Yeah, it's by her stuff.
Walk over, crumple it. What did this say again? I'm so sorry.
Essentially, that the demons had been looking for both Soul Drinker and, from the Maldrek, Keinherst Lord's perspective, Tempest. And this letter was meant as a warning for the Lord Keinherst of Eldwin that if Tempest were to find Soul Drinker along the way, he may or she may turn on him. Essentially, a warning to him to be prepared to kill all of you, really, if Tempest were to join. He obviously doesn't know about you guys, but a warning to potentially kill her.
We have to assume there was probably more of these sent out other than just yours, huh? Who is this from?
That
Dear Daddy.
was given to me by my father to take down the road. The reason that I even came out this far.
Do you think your aunt and uncle know about this?
As much as I want to believe that they don't, it's too hard to even think clearly on the matter. I mean, seriously.
If they do, then they've been withholding a lot of information from us for a very long time.
Wouldn't you?
You all hear, not terribly far away, maybe like 20 feet away, as another tree kind of crashes to the ground, and you, for those of you that have met Crow in the group, you hear him screaming in anger.
It's Screaming Anger Day.
Yeah.
Everyone is so frustrated.
You care to come down and talk to us about this?
He kind of shuffles over towards all of you because he was down on the ground. As he just cut a tree down himself.
I didn't know what was in the letter. My job was to make sure that she got there and that she gave it to him, that she didn't open it along the way. But
Didn't open it
because
alone.
Hold on, repeat that?
You say she didn't open it alone. I heard you correctly.
No, he said that she doesn't open it, like, at all. Just does not open it.
At all. Okay, okay. So, okay. Sorry, please carry on.
But because of everything that's happened, I wasn't going to stop her. She's the rightful heir, and that letter only proves it more. Damn them. He really does want her dead.
I think there's quite a few that he wants dead. And your sister? Do you think she knew about this?
No, she's part of the Eldwin branch. She wouldn't know anything going on our side, except, of course, what I've discussed with her recently. But the letter itself never came up. didn't think it was important.
This whole time, I did basically from walking around with my own execution papers. This fucking bastard. Who does that to their own child?
You all hear yet another scream of rage coming from your little group here as the tiefling woman slams her fist into one of the trees.
Less than 24 hours, and we have just stacked one fucking thing after another. What is wrong with these people? Why are they like this? Someone who they should be considering an ally, someone they should be treating with respect. They're toying with your life. What is wrong with them?
Power. It corrupts. The more you have, the easier you think it is to break others. And as he's saying this, Wrath is actually using mending on the paper to get all of the creases out, and he'll start folding it back up however it was in the envelope before. And he'll pick that up also and put it in and use mending on that to recreate the as if it hadn't been opened. This can still be of use to us.
I won't stop you from using it. We don't even know what could have already been sent.
We do have to assume that there was more than one of these letters sent out.
No, there wasn't. I can confirm that. Too many people would draw too much attention, especially for a matter like this. He was already sending 2 blades down the road, and there's less than 10 of us.
Right? Then we go under the assumption they don't have this information. How can we use this against them? Is anyone any good with forgery?
Geraldine raise a finger.
We could change some of the lettering.
Tempest, I just want to verify. You sent the message to your aunt already?
Correct.
You all have yet another intrusion into the conversation. As Raven kind of flies down before transforming back into her human form.
Well,
Sorry.
we have the advantage. If, let's say, we report back she died, I take in the letter. He wouldn't be expecting her when you all get there.
Letter could be proof that what you're saying is true. We could use that.
I know it's going to sound horrible, and I know you guys are not liking this already. We can make a corpse.
That's not a terrible idea. If we were to take back a body along with the letter, you'd have no real reason to believe that it's a lie.
Does he know what you look like?
Fold?
I think the thing is that we need to prove that you are dead, Tempest. Right?
I think the sealed letter might be proof enough of that. Does he know what you look like now?
I mean, he shouldn't. I honestly, if he did, I really can't remember the last time I actually saw him face to face.
No, there's no chance that you would know what she looks like. The proof in a corpse would be equipment. The insignia for the knights, the blades for the elite force of any of the Keinherst branches. Each one is unique. They have all the same base properties, but then each one is marked with their rank within their particular grouping. The corpse itself would only be meaningful if it happened to be wearing hers.
And does any of the Keinherst have the ability to speak with the dead?
I believe that one of the knights has the ability to do so.
So now you see where your plan fall apart. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that you don't fall into mistakes that can doom us all.
Is there any chance that you might know which of the knights it is that could do this? Speculation, maybe?
Well, after our last discussion, when you wanted to know more about anyone by the name of Maluviette within their ranks, one of the knights is named Maluviette, and she happens to be the one that might be capable of speaking with the dead. Well, one of the two, at least.
The thing is, I know it's going to sound gross and terrible, I know. But in order to speak with the dead in question need to have a head or any form of way to communicate. And we can be sure that doesn't. Plus, I'm dabbling on things recently, and maybe I can help.
Jam, to be sure that I'm clear on this matter, I'm talking about the fact that I'm starting to learn how to imprint information inside bones. So if I can make this corpse imprint the information about Tempest and make him believe that he is Tempest, speak with the dead will not work. Or at least it will work in our advantage. That's what I'm thinking. Not sure if it's possible, of course.
It
Wait,
could potentially work.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Speak with the dead. It only works once on a corpse, right?
It's a day, I think. Or once a year, month, week.
I can cast it at will. If I cast it on the corpse before they get it,
Mhm.
they won't be able to talk to
Well, okay. I'd like to move the topic to something that might answer this whole speak with dead debacle before anything else. We need a corpse. A headless one at that. If we can find one. And it would have to be...
You do remember Twilight has drawn some corpses, factoring everything with the master.
I was also referring to those one because they don't have they are corpses without a conscience. They are homunculus pretty much. And if we make one of Tempest, it will. Sorry, I'm speaking out above the table. If we make one of Tempest, it will have. I can try to imprint Tempest memory in it.
I'm gonna assume you said that in game. That is
Yeah.
excellent idea. That's probably the best idea we've had so far, actually.
I think even if you all do decide to go with this plan, it may be best to wait. If we were to take the corpse and the letter and everything back now, and then you encountered more of the mercenaries along the way and weren't able to get them on your side, they may report back information that would prove this scheme to be a scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, we were not thinking about doing it right now, but just to be prepared, right?
Better to have a plan.
You lay out the basics, and you know what you need to do when it's time to act.
Okay. I'm calm. I'm good. That is plan, and honestly, it could probably work out pretty well. And with that skull piece I've been wearing, plus my minor appearance changes since the beginning, it would probably be very easy to still walk in at the end. I'm just simply one of the adventurers in this crew. They wouldn't even know who I am, so there'd be no risk. This could work out, and it's definitely something we should keep considering.
You just have to make sure not to wear your insignia when you arrive in town.
Yeah, that too.
We send
I
it
don't
with
need to,
corpses.
possibly, though it does still have its influence. I mean, every group we've come across from Keinherst, that was the first thing they took note of to realize that I was not an enemy.
You all are talking about making a whole corpse. Certainly it can't be that hard to replicate a simple crest, right?
No, it's just everything that a corpse should come with as far as a soul and everything else that we're deciding on. Memories, as it may be.
We have time to think this through. Sorry for bringing everyone out here like that. I thought this was just going to be a curiosity moment.
Has your curiosity been sated then?
Yeah, so I do feel bad for this tree.
I'm sure Star will heal it whenever she wakes up.
Eh, anyway,
Yeah, anyway, sorry
I'm
for
glad you two showed up.
jumping in this conversation like that, but Miss Raven, why are you here?
My darling niece just sent me a message a little bit ago.
Oh, did she?
Figured it would be best
Sorry.
if I came and checked in.
Yeah, that's right. I need to ask a favor of you.
What's that?
These three, right here, they have a long way to go in their training, but they are determined to fight alongside me and follow us all into this madness we're about to take part in. They need guidance. They need someone who can really help them get to a point where they might just survive through this. And you're the best one I could possibly think of for them to follow.
When you point them out, she turns her gaze towards them, eyeing them up and down, trying to, take in who they are and anything she can easily discern about them.
Well, Lady Keinherst, your orders should be simple enough, but I'm going to need to know more about them if I'm going to find a way to have them transferred to my unit.
You guys have heard. You should start sharing all the important details as you can. I guarantee you being under my eye would be the best option for you going forward. It is a part of the one condition I stated in the beginning.
Okay, my issue's not with that. First it was my darling niece, and then it's Lady Keinherst. Why? Raven, you're speaking of her now as if she's the head of a family branch? Or as if she were a knight above you in seniority? What the fuck is up with that?
My father's worry in that letter goes hand in hand with this very dagger that I pull out right now.
The significance of the blade, it seems to be mostly lost on them.
Okay, and who is your father to have sent this letter of your apparently execution paper? Who is he?
They're asking who my father is?
Yeah.
I actually forget the name.
Typically in conversation, it would just be the Lord Keinherst of Maldrek. More his title than his actual name.
How familiar are you all with Lord Keinherst of Maldrek?
Not overly familiar. We know of the various lords over the family branches, but are you trying to tell me that, you said it's just now dawning on me that you've been calling Crow and Raven your aunt and uncle this whole time. And the whole reason we recognize them is because we know that they are the brother and sister of the Lord Keinherst and Maldrek. Are you the rightful heir to the Keinherst throne?
Now you're getting it. And the dagger symbolizes, based on who possesses it, who the rightful heir is. So, double down. Yes, you're looking at the heir, the child that never should have existed. You know me as Tempest Falls, but my blood is Keinherst.
Well, given that the check-in with our lieutenant is coming up tomorrow, Raven, I believe we should all head back and discuss things immediately. We need to make sure that our stories are straight.
Speaking of which, what are we telling the good lieutenant? Does he hold allegiance to the current ruler? Do you think he could be persuaded?
Raven's the one that responds. I should probably point it out since I have the same voice for two different people here. Raven's the one that responds.
Well, I mean, I'm a lieutenant, one of the ones that were sent out here. And I'm the only one with turbulent history with the Lord Keinherst. Honestly, it's the only reason I'm not of a higher standing. But each of the lieutenants is an actual member of the Keinherst military. They aren't mercenaries hired. They aren't foot soldiers. They're not privates. They've gotten where they are by being loyal, by proving themselves valuable both in handling intelligence and coordinating plans. It's one thing to convince. Yeah, it's one thing to convince individuals like these to join you, but a lieutenant is a whole nother matter.
This sounds like the perfect time to lay an ambush, to take out someone that we would have to oppose later anyway.
Unless, not to prove to do a party pooper here, unless we learn something about this person that give us an advantage.
I mean, it's supposed to be a check-in, right? If it were to start with Tempest and my sister and these three here, the rest of you could wait in ambush while those actually speaking with the lieutenant poke at the armor, so to speak. Maybe figure out if he has any misgivings. See if there's any chance you might be able to turn. And if he does seem like he will be an enemy in the future, it is an opportunity.
I like that.
Wrath looks at Tempest rather quickly when you say that. I'm not letting you walk up to him alone. I'm going with you.
I'm pretty sure that my aunt will also be present. And you know that she's just as much a powerhouse.
Brat's eyes shift to Raven. How is she looking right now?
Healthy and
rested currently. She seems abnormally calm for everything going on, but you can tell behind her eyes there is a fire of rage building.
Takes a moment to consider. I still don't feel right not being by your side for it. I can be a mercenary, someone you recruited to assist you in your journey.
Yeah. Look, we can at least think about that as an option. But at the end of the day, do consider you wouldn't lay all of your powerful cards out on the table right away.
I'm just there to protect you.
If you're not focused on the interaction as a whole, you'd be able to gather a lot more information of what's not being seen. You can take in the entire situation without having your attention drawn away. I know, I trust that you'll act at the appropriate moment.
Not going to act at all unless it's needed. We have far more perceptive people than I, and he looks over at Geraldine and Pius, that can watch from the outside.
Pius, you probably would have joined everyone by now after noticing no one was at the fortresses. Probably around the time that Raven dropped down.
Yes, I can do that, for sure.
And I will collect information.
This is going to be a very delicate situation. There's no room for error of any kind. So, say on the off chance that a certain angel in our group wakes up, we do not allow any fooling around.
Maybe we try and get this done before she wakes up.
Yeah. Hopefully, though, it can work out because I've already had to kill one too many people from the Keinherst, and I really don't want to have to go through that again.
Some bad news for you, Princess. There's a war that we're marching towards. There's going to be a lot more death. But I do agree that there shouldn't be needless bloodshed. If they bring any troops with them who are willing to see our side, or at least walk away, I say we let them.
You know what? Yes. Join us for that moment. I want you behind me and my aunt. I want you to be aware of what's around us. In case. Above, below, in the shadows. If anything, you're the one I trust to watch my back.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Alright. You three. It'd probably be best for you to talk to my aunt and get everything caught up to speed.
As they nod and kind of start grouping around her, waiting for her to lead them wherever they're going to talk.
Raven, should I have an insignia made? Or plain clothes fine?
plain clothes are fine if we're just going to talk about you being a mercenary that joined her.
Well, if you all don't mind, I need to go talk to my uncle real quick.
Be back at the fortress.
Jolene, do we linger a little bit more and talk with Raven for a second? We don't need to play it. It's just she need to know if Raven knows who's coming. She has names and anything that she can share about the person that we need to bring on our side.
So, Geraldine, you are approaching Raven, who at the moment is going to give Tempest a hug, as she has not done so yet.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to, join my hand, almost like I'm trying to grab something, but I'm restraining myself, like a little twitch movement and such like, and I will wait for Tempest to say goodbye, and I will interrupt them. I'm sorry, Miss Raven. I need to have a chat.
I don't think we've been properly introduced yet. Obviously.
No, we did
You've already
not.
heard my name. What is your name?
I bow with my head and I just say, Geraldine Moline. Humble scribe, I will say.
Well, Geraldine, what is it you wish to discuss?
The name of the people that are going to meet us. Their name, their rank, every information you have. It's definitely something we need and we're going to work with.
Well, until I actually sit down and talk with these mercenaries, I don't have much information to give you. There were 13 of us, as far as lieutenants go, when we were all sent out, so I'm not familiar with necessarily who their lieutenant is. I don't know them after all, but after my discussions with them, that's understandable. I should be able to provide a fair amount of information on them at least.
That's very, very good. The thing is, while you are caring for your nephew, they will not. And we need to make sure that we do everything in our power to have the upper hand. Because at the end of the day, like Rath said, this is war.
I understand that. I'll need 2-3 hours, more than likely, to get all the information I need from them at least. That way I understand the situation, what I need to approach their lieutenant with, to explain why I'm here and why I believe they should be transferred to my unit, as well as who it is.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. I am also going to have some personal question to you, but that will be when we are in a private environment. Thank you.
All right. I'll speak with you later then.
And yeah, Geraldine will leave her for the next 2-3 hours. She will not bother them because they need to speak. And in the meantime, she's going through all the notes she has about Raven and her role into all of this.
Okay. You don't necessarily have a lot on Raven specifically. She is a ranked member of the military, but she's not particularly high up. She's not a notable public figure outside of her own area in Eldwin.
Yep. Sorry for, but the thing is, I read, a Tempest diary. So everything that Tempest, I should have, all the information that Tempest shared in her diary about her, and so I should be able to understand why they are, connected.
Fair.
Why they? So please carry on.
Okay. So it'll probably take you a few hours to kind of recollect and go through all of it. Raven was originally a blade candidate back in Maldrek, but she had a tendency to disobey orders and to do what she felt was right versus what she was told to do. Tempest did, of course, get to spend a lot of time with her in her younger years, but it wasn't stuff that was too connected with the combat and military aspect of that. Most of Tempest's time in her younger years in relation to that was with her Uncle Crow, because Raven was very against Tempest being trained in the military and becoming a blade. Raven, one very specific part of it is that Raven believed that Tempest becoming a member of the military would give Lord Keinherst of Maldrek an excuse, essentially, to kill her, to send her on suicide missions. Eventually, those all built up, and the Lord Keinherst of Maldrek had her transferred to Eldwin. Tempest was around 13. It was around the same time that she actually became a blade. And since then, over the last 7-ish years, Tempest has only seen her aunt on occasion, maybe once every 6 months to a year. And they never really discussed military matters when they had time together. The picture that gets painted of Raven, though, from Tempest's perspective, is of her being a very kind and caring individual, someone who understands, there being flaws, and someone who isn't necessarily the most stern person, which, just from what you saw in Rath's book of the time on the Highroad, and even her interactions now, is vastly different than how she seems to behave with other people. She tends to be very, very authority-like around others. But you definitely would also know that she is more than just proficient with her weapons, that she is an absolute elite in terms of combat.
All those things are very important. At the same time, Geraldine is thinking, okay, Yeah, I know what Tempest thinks about her, but I don't know what her thinks about Tempest and why she's doing all of this. And, why she's helping her nephew to literally overthrow, like someone in charge. Okay, she's kind. The people in charge are bad people. That's it? Or there is something personal at stakes? So those are all the kind of information and question that Geraldine is running through her head because she is always looking for the angle. She always look for what other people are trying to get out of this. Even if it's a good things, it doesn't need to be a bad things. But Harry has, yeah, like the song says, "Sweet dreams are made of these."
Yeah. So your question basically is, what's her motive?
hmm
There are definitely a few angles to it. As to which one you'd say is primary, you can't quite tell. Her and Crow both hold very deep love for Tempest and care about her, want her to survive and to be what she wants, to live a good life. Raven also clearly does not like the Keinherst or people of authority in general. Overthrowing any type of nobility that's causing problems for people is a real plus for her because it means an opportunity for changes in the government. More in the favor of the regular people, common folk, to hopefully improve their lives as well. And some amount of probably vengeance because she's definitely been personally mistreated by them.
Good. All things that make her a good person and definitely someone that we can eventually trust. But I need to hear some those things from her directly. And Geraldine can be subtle or can be very direct sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So your first of these two downtimes is basically reviewing what you know, going over all that, and getting that, knowing how you're going to approach your conversation with Raven. Tempest, you want to spend time with Crow, correct?
Yep.
He is more than happy to spend time with you, of course. But as you kind of start suggesting little things like a sparring match or a race or anything like that, he does get a very stern look on his face.
I know the need for downtime and rest is important, but the entire reason that I came this way, looking to speak with you, was because I have information. The last time we met, like I said, I was going to try to find Raven, talk to her, situate things, but I also was looking into the other Keinherst units out here on the road, and there have been some pretty major shifts in how things have been going for all of them.
Okay. What do you mean by that exactly? What's happening?
Well, as your aunt was saying earlier, things like there were 13 lieutenants originally kind of sent out. The lieutenants themselves don't necessarily go in and participate in a lot of the operations directly, but amongst those 13 lieutenants and the 150 soldiers below all of them, the captains, the mercenaries, the privates, 7 of those lieutenants are dead, and nearly half of the people sent out are dead as well. I also believe that the main purpose of what they're doing out here is actually to find more of those torment fragments.
Well, I have a few answers to that. I have as responses to that. First off, they're definitely going to struggle with those torment fragments, because we've definitely been going out of our way to deal with those as we find them. We've even managed to cleanse a few of them. The biggest one, we found a monolith in a lake that corrupted a village. Can we manage to turn that around and cleanse that thing, saving the future of that village? We've started to slowly disrupt the flow of the chaos emanating from them.
That's wonderful news. It is, but the way that the mercenaries and soldiers have been sent out, this is a very large region. Easily 500 miles off either side of the road, and you'd still be in the mountains at some points. But the search is taking place exclusively within about 10 miles of the road at any given point. Lord Keinherst and Eldwin seems to be treating the road as some type of focal point, where he likely believes the torment is most concentrated. As for dealing with them, I don't think he cares what happens to the soldiers as long as the fragments are returned to him, or if the reports show signs where they are, so he can possibly send out the knights to collect them instead. The knights would be far more capable of resisting their effects.
It sounds like he wanted a group of adventurers to clear the road, making it easier for him to send soldiers out. That way it would speed up the process.
More than likely, yes. That is why I believe, at least, that he requested the heroes from Pallet, probably figuring they may find some of those fragments and bring them to him as well. Not necessarily, purposefully, but he probably expected quite a few of these fragments to be missed as well, but to use the reports that they return to locate specific areas where there may be more hidden away.
Well, it's all starting to make sense, and not for the better. Also, to add on to the other thing you said, you mentioned that the soldiers were dying.
Yeah, in any number of ways, whether it's just monsters they've encountered. Some of them have just simply died of, like, dehydration and starvation because they weren't able to secure adequate foodstuffs or to manage their supplies or lost supplies in a battle. There's been any number of reasons. I've been gone for a relatively short time since last time I spoke with you, so I wasn't able to dig too deeply into the reasons why, though.
Still, it's valuable information. And to add on to that, all those things definitely would be killing them, especially looks at these three. Some aren't even equipped for any of this that they're experiencing. And finding out last night, there are demons scattered around the road right now, such as the ones in the letter, as I'm sure you overheard. They want to eliminate anyone that they fear could possibly ally with me.
Yeah, that would make sense. And more than likely, all of the demons on the road are here because of you and that dagger as well. It would explain their presence, at least.
I messed up a bit ago, and I know it's only all coming back to bite me in the ass now. If I would have never made a fucking agreement with the Zuzu, things could have played out differently. For better or worse, we'll never actually know. It hurts. Knowing that people I don't even know yet are being harmed because of me. What a messed up situation to be in.
The crow wraps his arms around you gently, pulling you in close in a hug.
Tempest, this isn't your fault. You didn't make any mistakes. These demons would have been hurting people regardless. Plain and simple. This would be happening in some form or another, even if you never even this road. Don't blame yourself. All we can do is plan, be ready, so we can stop it when the time comes.
She'll tighten that hug fully. You're right. I want to thank you. You and Auntie. I wouldn't know where I'd be, or if I'd ever made it to a point like this, if I didn't have even the slightest bit of support when I was younger.
He places his chin on top of your head, and even though you can't hear him crying, you can feel tears running down his face and into your hair.
I'm walking a path that's gonna end in absolute destruction. I can only hope that it'll bring a much brighter light at the end. I'll keep pushing on. You two don't give up any faith in me, and I will do what I can.
He just grips you tighter, at this point just unable to speak, and he'll keep holding you for anywhere from like 10 to 15 more minutes, before you can feel his tears finally subsiding.
Well, I guess that's enough tears, huh? Well, I guess we still have time before the next big thing happens. Did you still want to have that sparring match?
Yeah, I want to show you just how much I've learned on the road, how much further I've come from what you've taught me back then. I must warn you though, my sight has gotten a little more sharp.
And before we continue with that, everyone's kind of parting ways and going off to more or less do their own things. What is Raph planning to do for the next 4 hours?
Wrath is going to kind of watch everyone separate, and as he's walking back towards the fortress, Pius, where did you go?
Pius would have went back to the fortress.
Okay, so he'll probably walk back with you, and as he passes the spot where he can see the exercises he put the soldiers through this morning, he kind of mumbles whatever it takes. So, hey, Pius.
Yes, Wrath.
Do you still have that other mask? And he'll point to his own face.
1 second. Let me just dig through this. Oh, God, it's full of metal. 1 second. No, that's a torch. Oh, no, that's not it. I don't. Yes. I think this is it.
I gave it to you, right?
I'm going
Traded,
through his
I think.
inventory real quick, checking.
I might not have written it down.
I think you might have given it to Tempest.
Don't think there's anything in my inventory of that nature.
Let me check.
Pretty sure I traded it to Pius for the yellow one.
Now,
Yeah, I
the
think
one
you did.
in
I just didn't write it
yeah,
down.
the one in Tempest's inventory is the yellow tracking mask, so she does not have it.
It was the white one, right? What's the other one?
Yep, it would have been the white mask.
I'm assuming you
Or
have it.
It would be white according to the original masks, but it's sky blue.
Does he have it, or did something
Yeah,
come in and take it
Pius-
from his bag? Okay.
Pius should have it.
Can I possibly have that? This might not work at all, but I am curious to see and willing to try.
I'm really excited to see what you do with it. Here you go.
Hopefully it'll be pretty boring. He'll take it and he'll remove the mask from his own face and kind of holding one in each hand, consider for just a second and look at Pius. Here goes nothing, and he's gonna put them together. Does anything happen?
Give me a quick second. So I want to make sure what the original canon says about this.
Think the canon is if you have all 5, you can.
I know that you can merge them without all of them. They just have stacking effects as they merge. Yeah, when 2 or more of the masks are assembled, they transform into the mask of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about the process, so we will go with my idea for it, because I hadn't actually considered the pieces together and putting them together, at least not in extensive detail. So you notice them responding to each other, but you're noticing a disconnect. The same way as if you try to use a magic item that requires attunement, and you have to take the time to actually stabilize the connection between you and the item. The 2 masks seem to be having that type of issue, as if they have to be attuned to each other.
This might take a little while. I'm thinking about going on the roof, and he looks up at the fortress. Care to join me?
Sure. I have nothing going on right now. I was just going to perform some routine maintenance on my body. So
That'll be perfect. It's pretty flat up there, and he'll pull out of his bag the hither-tither staff and boom, form a portal up where we can walk out onto the roof.
Oh,
Okay.
convenient.
And yeah, I'm gonna spend however long it takes to try and get these things together.
All right. So we'll consider just a part of a tuning, basically, like the attunement process. It sounds like the 2 of you are basically going to just sit there, though, and relax for thorough rest over this next period.
Well, if I can do something else as a downtime activity while this is happening, can you do the same downtime activity twice?
Some of them,
Or-
yes. Some of them, no. For recovering a
No.
spell slot, you can do that again. Yeah, all the thorough rest actions you can do multiple times.
Second question. Our proficiency bonus is now 5. Should I have gotten a 5th level spell slot?
Oh, yeah, 5th level or lower. My bad.
Oh, good. Let me swap that out. Okay. Yeah, I would like to use mine for that, if I can recover
Okay.
again.
Yeah, you can get back another spell slot off of that. Pious, for thorough rest, do you want to use a free hit die? Do you want to have advantage on strength, dex, or con ability checks until your next long rest completes? Do you want to recover a spell slot, or do you want to regain a use of a feature that normally recovers after a long rest? So, like, you could recover a channel divinity.
I'll just have advantage.
Okay. Strength, dex, or con.
Perfect.
I'm asking, which one?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I got all 3. I'll do strength.
No, 1. Okay. All right, until you complete your next short rest, the next long rest, you have advantage on strength ability checks. So, not saves, not attack rolls, but like skill checks and such.
Got it.
Okay. Seeing as it's rest, and it does take you the majority of the 4 hours to actually get the masks to attune to each other and then reattune to yourself. But after that 4-hour period, you do indeed have the 2 of them combined. So that would give you resistance to cold, resistance to electric. You have 2 legendary resistances now. You have the lingering shock feature still. And if your current hit points are equal to or less than half your maximum, you deal an extra 1d8 on cold melee attacks. Tempest, you and your sparring is happening away from everybody. So, about halfway through it though, he suggests not using weapons. Because weapons can make a major difference. Your equipment itself can give you bonuses and pluses, and obviously you want to leverage those in combat, but you also want to focus on your raw talents and skills. And you notice that in that second half, you go from having actually a fair amount of advantage and lead on him to being almost overwhelmed by him. There's a fairly large difference when you stop using your equipment against him, showing that his basic skill level, his proficiency in combat is naturally higher. But you are significantly closer to matching him than you've ever been.
Okay. Alright, I see. I need a little more improvement. Dodging strikes, trying to talk. He said no weapons. That doesn't include cantrips or spells, though, right?
No, it doesn't.
Alright. On the next dodge, I'm gonna lightning lure.
Let's see how that goes. What is your save DC?
19.
He beats it, and you don't manage to pull him any closer. But his response when you do that, he does like respond verbal.
Good idea. But you have to remember what your opponent's strengths are. Mine happens to be my physical strength.
Fair enough. No, truly fair. I know where I need to put my focus in, and I start prioritizing my speed.
Eventually, as you leverage the fact that you're faster, you can duck in and out to make attacks, although plenty of them miss along the way. You start to land more blows on him than he's landing on you, by sheer virtue of how many you can throw and how much you can get out of the way of his attacks. And eventually he just kind of puts a hand up, signaling it's time to stop.
Just like back in the day, right? I don't think we've been able to practice this long in a long time. It's starting to get a little late. I think we should probably meet back up with everybody. We have to plan for tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. That was fun, though. I usually would have been on my butt way sooner.
he smiles and like tousles your hair, but you can pretty readily tell that he cut it short because he was about to fall flat on his ass.
Yeah, are you good? Did I go a little too hard?
Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm still walking. Let's just get back to everybody.
All right. By the way, I do appreciate this moment, especially because, well, it's getting close to spring, and it's almost that day.
Yeah.
Glad I could actually spend this little time with you.
Well, that's part of why I cut my investigation a little short. I wasn't gonna miss your birthday, kiddo.
And as we're walking back, I just give him a quick summary of the events that happened, since that is like very quick, with like the captain and that military base, eventually finishing up with like the sword and then that ring.
All right. So it's about 5 p.m. The sun looks like it's about to start setting. It's past the peak of the day, but with spring coming, the day is starting to last longer. Geraldine, you know that Raven and the mercenaries should be just about done talking. And Wrath, Bias, you're finishing up with the merging of the two masks and the attunement. And when the two of them merge, they do form the mask of the Dragon Queen, except they've only put 2 faces on it so far, the sky blue and the yellow on it. Which, of course, is this dragon-like headpiece that covers pretty much your entire head, and even has, like, the scaled features down over your shoulders and your neck. The mask itself is made up of all of the colors, though. There's the yellow, the sky blue, the red. There's one for each of the 8 elements, as there's just this hypnotic rainbow pattern to the coloring of the mask itself.
Does it have that mouth guard in the front still? How does that fit over my mouth?
It's almost like it's form fit. And like when you open and close your mouth, the mask opens and closes as well.
Gosh, hell yeah. Do I look intimidating now, Bias? Put it on my head.
Yes, actually, quite very much so.
Hopefully that's enough. I'm gonna head back down. Are you chilling up here? The portal stays open for like 8 hours or some shit.
Yeah, I think I will, actually. I'm gonna sit up here and continue my preventative maintenance.
Well, keep an eye out, I guess. If you need anything, holler. You good? You ready for this?
You know, for the first time in quite some time, I think I am, actually. I'm feeling confident.
Glad to hear that. Been worried. You haven't been quite yourself as much lately. That's a weird statement to make. But glad to see you back.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm getting hungry. Let's see if anything's cooked up.
Hopefully.
Geraldine, you would have had time to start preparing a meal as well, if you wanted to.
But at the same time, I need to speak with Raven first, so Geraldine will deal with that first, and after that, we'll probably go and, make some stuff.
I mean, like during the waiting, you would have had time to have started preparing a meal if you wanted to.
In that
Like you could
sense.
already
Okay.
be fairly there.
Okay. So, yeah. So, probably I already been preparing something for the rest of the team. It's late afternoon, so nothing that looks like a complete dinner. It's just making sure that they have, something like some snack or other things that they will be able to consume in the meantime that we're getting closer and closer to dinner time.
Okay. Basically, as you're finishing that up, and Wrath, you're going through the portal back down to the ground. Tempest and Crow are coming from one angle, like kind of the southeast a little bit, and then just a little bit to the northeast where the other instant fortress is. Raven and the Keinherst mercenaries are all coming out of that at about the same time, and you're all more or less converging right outside of your instant fortress.
Hey, look, I got a new helmet thing. Hat?
Oh, you look adorable.
Damn, that's not what I was going for.
Is this for some intimidatory purpose?
No, we just had a spare mask lying around, and I wanted to see what happened if we put them together. Apparently this.
Isn't this like a representation of Tiamat?
Yep, sure is, actually.
Oh, and you just happen to have a mask of a specific goddess lying around.
2 of 5 of them, yeah. Wrath is watching Raven's reaction to this conversation.
Raven herself is staring quite intently. You can tell she's got some misgivings about it when she's like first kind of recognizing the fact that this is Tiamat. But then you realize she has that dawning realization herself that Tempest is literally wielding the scarier of the 2 divine relics of Tiamat. Yep.
Yeah.
I was just working on sending that picture in the chat.
So anyway,
Ooh.
y'all thought of anything else we should be doing to prepare?
We will get to it. I think you should prepare yourself for an interesting speech with this person. A talk of some sort. Am I right?
I'm just the muscle.
Sounds like some intense talks already happening. Wow, Wrath. That's intimidating. I love it. But I think I'm gonna have to be the one probably doing the talking tomorrow.
Mhm. Yes, and in order to make sure you got every possible weapon in your arsenal, Miss Raven, do you mind if we have that chat now?
Oh?
Of course, of course. So the most important part of this is obviously which lieutenant that we will be dealing with.
Mhm.
His name is Bernil Altel. He's an Asmar. At that, he's a paladin. Although I don't know the particulars of the oath he has sworn. He's managed to reach the rank he's in primarily by having an immaculate record, so to speak. A little bit too perfect. Some of us believe that there has been some fudging of his records in reports that he sent in, that he may be lying to make himself look better in many instances.
Uh-huh. And you don't happen to have, any proof of this, right?
Well, I generally try to keep to myself. I don't like to interact with the other lieutenants. I don't even like to interact with the colonel that I have to report to. So I haven't tried to dig for information.
Yeah, Miss Raven, and I'm saying this too with a lot of kindness in my heart, okay? You should start to to put those feelings aside, because now your nephew needs you. And more you get information out of your enemies, the better.
Nephew.
Yeah, David, you said it a few times.
Oh, sorry.
Just in English, it's niece for female.
Niece. No, I realized that when I was saying it. Sorry, I didn't stop myself. Niece. Sorry.
It's good. We all know what you're talking about. But yeah, Raven does look at you with a fairly stern look, her eyes piercing.
I'm aware of that. Unfortunately, I'm currently duty bound to this road. Since these developments and changes, I haven't exactly had time to go back.
No, I completely understand. But think about your position. Think about what you can do. And I don't say this lightly, but you have the chance to pave the road for her arrival.
I'm supposed to have my first proper check-in with my colonel in a couple of weeks. I think I may try to bring that forward. See if I can't pry any information out of him about the other lieutenants that are still alive on the road.
And how many lieutenants are still alive on the road?
Well, according
Do you know
to
about this?
my investigation, there are currently 7. My sister here, Baronel, of course, and there are 5 others as well. Originally, there were 13 sent out, though.
So it's right to presume that none of the other is aware of this, right?
It would be fairly safe to assume, at least. Not of everything. The reports are kind of staggered out. Lieutenants check in with captains every couple of weeks, kind of like one every couple of days. And we lieutenants check in usually once a month. So.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Crow, right? That's your name?
Oh, yeah, of course. We haven't been properly introduced yet, have we?
Yeah.
My apologies.
It's okay. We can do the honorificence and etc. later on. This is much more important. What I'm saying is, do you have any proof about this? Can you prove that you're dying like flies?
Well, all I have is conversations that I've overheard while in my pro form. I've been trying to go around, find the various units, basically trying to listen into the reports that they've had and any discussions they may be having amongst themselves. No evidence, at least, for most of it. Most of it is, of course, hearsay. I know at least 2 of those lieutenants are most certainly dead, though, as I was able to hear the first-hand account from, in one instance, a captain underneath that lieutenant was retelling the story of their experience when that lieutenant died. And the other was one of the privates in another unit. They've been trying to consolidate the survivors from any serious incidents to other units along the way.
I mean, I don't know how you feel but if I am a lieutenant of a unit and I know that there are other like me, and we keep getting, killed and killed, and our numbers are getting smaller and smaller, and none of us are receiving any help. None of us is getting the right equipment or men to deal with those things. Don't you feel that I will start to get like pondering what's happening in their hierarchy, that I will not start to feel a little bit abandoned by the people in charge.
So, for us units that were sent out here, about a month ago, we were notified that there was an expectation to send some amount of reinforcements out, along with additional supplies. We lieutenants were able to ask for arms and armaments as well, ones we felt were specifically necessary to improve our odds of success. I am already aware that most of what I requested will not be arriving. Always ask for extra is my motto in terms of supplies. I'll get what I get, but if I under-ask, I won't get as much as I could. I think a lot of our units are merely keeping hope in their hearts, so to speak, because of that information. We've been on the road for close to 6 months, all of us, so even just a small amount of promise is probably a lot to most of us at this point.
And have you get any of those things fulfilled yet?
Not yet. That was, as far as reinforcements, it takes time. And it's only been a couple of weeks since we were notified about it. So I don't expect reinforcements to arrive for anywhere from a month to 2 months. One of the additional things that we will be receiving in this are some reinforced carriages, armor-plated ones, to, of course, transport them faster, as well as any supplies being sent. So, of course, we do have to wait on it all.
Of course. And spreading the rumors that those things will never arrive will be such a bad thing, right? And I look at Crow.
It would sow some chaos in the middle of it all, but given the effects of these torment fragments, if any of those units have one in their possession, or they happen to be near one, I fear that those feelings of despair may get amplified in ways that we don't want them to be.
Don't we? But let me get it straight. If those people are on our side, and they are on the tip of the scale, tipping the scale in our favor, yeah, it's better if they are a little bit despaired, because that's the moment where we swoop in and raise them up.
I'm not sure what these torment fragments you're talking about are, but they can, if what you're saying, if I'm understanding this correctly, is they can amplify negative feelings, despair, hopelessness. Yes, that could do in helping turn them over and giving them a reason to join us in our fight. But from the sounds of it, there are other things that could potentially happen. I don't think Crow necessarily means, simple matters of feelings and emotions. We haven't heard much of what you've had to say about them, but they sound far more dangerous than just make you feel bad.
That's true. Probably my methods are a little bit too far. But the thing is, it's war, and every single tactic is legit. Especially if those tactics can throw our enemy out of balance. Because if any of those troops is not with us, I'm sorry to say, they need to die.
The tiefling woman actually turns towards you.
Obviously, all of you know a significant amount more about whatever these torment fragments are, about whatever's going on with the Lord Keinherst of Eldwin and all of it. But if I'm to understand correctly, these torment fragments pose a risk. You seem to be one of the more level-headed ones here. I mean, all of you are clearly better in that department than I am. What are your thoughts? Is that risk worth it?
I look at the rest of my companion, as Geraldine definitely thinks it is, but I'm also very cruel if I want.
I think people need to be given a chance.
And, sorry, I kind of missed a part of what was said here.
Disrupting supply lines and possibly isolating military to portions that might be dangerous.
Yeah, essentially what's being asked by the tiefling woman is if disturbing all of this, spreading rumors that reinforcements and supplies aren't coming, amplify those negative feelings towards Lord Keinherst. If the potential effects, because if they come into contact with these torment fragments, is the risk of it going too far acceptable because of the potential reward, that it would make them easier to recruit on your side.
Long story short, the mean justify, like the hand justifying the mean or something like that.
Obviously, high risk, high reward here. And it all makes perfect sense.
You're
Showing resentment against the kingdom? Absolutely. But they will take notice. They will start to investigate. We could end up with very unwanted attention.
Well, you're also risking the lives of potential allies.
Exactly.
I don't think it's worth it.
Having everyone respond off of their own emotion with no other input, honestly, that could lead to some catastrophic things.
I will say this. My strategy is not kind. My strategy can sound a little bit cruel, and it is. It's also true that each one of those people out there are responsible for themselves. They choose this. They take their life, they put it on the line, and they will, sooner or later, face the consequences.
I agree, but this is the beginnings of a rebellion as well. We need to gather people. We can't fight a war with just what's in this camp.
No, and that is the reason why making sure that when we arrive, those people will be desperate to help us.
If I could interject for a moment, my niece, nephew, and all of us, we have time to discuss those matters. They're not something happening too immediately. I think at the moment we should try to focus on what's going to happen tomorrow, the meeting with the lieutenant.
Yes, true. We were just having a conversation of future things. We got carried away.
Where's this meeting to take place?
Anyway, I'm sure you guys had a set location. I'm assuming you had a set camp that you were supposed to be at?
It doesn't quite work like that. Essentially, all of us lieutenants have been given bracelets that allow us to communicate between each other, as well as the colonel that we report to. We also have another method by which we can directly contact captains to give them information as we feel necessary. That particular item allows us to lock into the paired item that the captains have. From there, we use another item that we were given to teleport to their location for meetings. So it doesn't particularly matter, but it does mean that corpse of the captain needs to be retrieved. It has all the items that will be making this meeting happen.
Wow. I was like, some stuff needs to be taken care of tonight.
That's back where the spider was?
The three mercenaries kind of nod their heads. So they have more than one collectively.
Retrieval, first mission. Or do it there?
I believe we should retrieve the items. We can't guarantee that the local wildlife won't get a hold of the bodies. They've already been out there long enough to potentially attract attention. The longer we leave them, the higher the chance that some type of animal will have run off with something in their belly that shouldn't be there.
I agree. I'm just offering it as a potential place that we have this meeting where they teleport to. It's a cave, right? Or no, it wasn't.
The area where it happened actually might be a good place. The wildlife won't be able to consume all of the corpses. It would be evidence enough of the problems and work well to my advantage with the plan I have for speaking with the lieutenant, at least in terms of getting the unit transferred to mine.
All right. So we have a location. We can get there early to get Pius and Geraldine hidden.
But we at least definitely need to go back tonight to make sure things are secured. Just so there's no risk.
I'll go take a run if need be.
No, don't worry about it. I'll go back and retrieve what we need. I know what it is. I've watched the captain and our lieutenant have those meetings before. I know what I need to retrieve.
This is the tiefling?
Correct.
I'll go with you. I could use a jog.
She nods.
Because, there is something that actually my mind is trying to wrap around a couple of things here. You guys, I'm talking to the mercenary. Does the captain ever shared about the meeting before the attack? Did they ever talk about it with you or someone else about the fact that you guys are going to have a meeting in that area?
Oh, like Raven said, the meeting just kind of takes place wherever we are. We expected at least to be closer to the road for the meeting, but there was no real set location. We know the times for the check-ins at this point. They happen frequently enough. So our captain didn't necessarily need to discuss them with us, just the matters of what we should be doing during the meeting.
Okay, just to make sure that we are not walking into a trap, set up from the demons. They're waiting there just for the meetings to start.
I'd like to chime in on that. Valid. Being paranoid's fair here, but I want to chime in and say, these demons aren't downright stupid. Jumping in on the meeting, that might be the last thing they ever do.
The elven woman chimes in.
I have to agree. I don't think the demons are going to be taking part. You have that pact. Can't hurt you and your allies. The fact is, it's a meeting involving all of you. The potential for collateral damage and harming you, I think, is significant enough to not take the risk, especially if they're targeting us away from all of you in the first place.
Which protects the allies. And if they attacked anyone outside of it, they would basically be painting a target on their backs with the Keinherst.
I doubt demons really care that much about the Keinherst. But painting a target on their backs, from you guys, I think they care a bit more about that. They might actually slow down their attacks At least if they're worried you might find out, given that they've already been caught once. After all, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
At least let's keep our guards out. Wouldn't be surprised if they're watching and listening.
Anyways, back to the original point where they might know about the check-in and such. I doubt it. We don't actually discuss it at this point. So, well, they may know a little bit at least, because we did mention that there was one coming up while the demon was watching us. But we didn't even give a specific day of when it was going to happen. So unless they're just sitting here watching us right now, we're likely in the clear.
Good to know.
It's in the clear then.
Starting to sound like we got the whole plan together then.
What are we saying to him? What are you saying to him?
Hey. Honestly, I'm gonna take that in the best method that I know.
Which
I'm just gonna
is-
take it as it comes in the moment.
Honestly, I was hoping that you'd be willing to follow my lead on it. Honestly, take it as it comes, as you'd say. I do have a plan. I have some idea of how to speak to him, at least. So,
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, I'm probably the last one he's gonna even bother talking with anyway.
I think he'll have interest in you and want to hear from you on the matter, especially since you're the one that saved these three.
Mm-hmm.
But I recommend keeping details to a minimum.
Understood?
Well, if that's all we really need to discuss for the moment about tomorrow, these three told me that you tested them this morning. I think I'd like to spend some hours working on training them at the moment.
Wouldn't go too hard on them today. They wore themselves out this morning.
I figured. They had plenty to say about you and that training. I plan on keeping one arm tied behind my back.
Those who know, they know. But if it makes him feel better. Also, definitely go easy on this one, because he does have to go back to retrieve some things.
Fair enough.
Hope I prepared him well for you. I took a lot of inspiration from a similar beating of my own.
She kind of winks at you.
I'm still looking forward to our rematch.
Whenever you'd like.
We'll
I
hold
do have
off
some
on it
items
for
to
now.
retreat first, of course. Better save our strength.
All right then. Velrissa, how about you and Wrath head out to retrieve those items right now then? Assuming you're up for it right now.
Reach you there.
The Tiefling, as you've now found out her name is Velrissa, she starts to prepare herself to just sprint out that direction.
Wrath just kind of starts walking. If she does sprint past me, he is going to catch up. I'm assuming probably fairly easily.
Yeah, fairly easily. She is only a 6th level monk. Like, she's got speed at her base. She's got a few key points, but on the long haul, she'll probably lose out to you. All right. So we have one more downtime activity for the day. How about we start with Pius? You're just thorough resting again?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really much he wants to do at the moment.
Yep, you don't have anything you're training right now either.
Nope.
Okay. Do you want to take the free hit die of recovery, healing? Do you want to get advantage on another check or spell slot, feature use?
No, I'll do the hit die.
All right, roll a hit die for free. No need to mark it off. You're not using one. You're just getting the benefits. Tempest, how about you?
I'll probably just spend my I'll spend the last period just sitting with my uncle and watching Raven and what she's doing with them.
Okay. So thorough rest. Did you want to recover the hit points? Did you want to get advantage on one of the checks types? I don't think you have a spell slot to recover.
No.
You do have an action surge you could recover, though.
Ooh, yes. I want to recover that.
Oh, and let me double check, because now I'm doubting whether it's a short rest or long
Don't
rest
doubt.
recovery.
Don't doubt yourself.
If it's a short rest recovery, you don't have to use this to get it back.
Oh, fair enough.
Action surge. Where are you? Okay, yeah, you get that back on a short rest, so you don't need to utilize the extra rest to get it back. So you're basically sitting at some free healing, or do you want advantage on strength, dex, or con?
Let me double check.
Well, you think about that. How much did you get back in hit points there, Pius?
7.
7. Okay. Hey, it's free healing.
I'll take it.
Strength.
You want to get advantage on strength checks until your next long rest is completed. Gotcha. And Geraldine, that leaves you, currently.
Geraldine doesn't need to do anything to recover her spell slot and etc. because everything I have recovers automatically during our short rest. However, I'm going to, with the new information about this interesting guy, I'm going to have an interesting conversation with my patron, because I wonder how much does she knows in terms of, Azimar, you said, because those are usually not stuff that she collect, unless there are some rare event. Azimar usually not being, I don't know if they're angel. I don't think they get buried on ground. But worth to ask.
All right. So basically, you'll use your period to get that information.
to get as much information I can, because the thing is, this guy has an immaculate record. No one does. No one does. Not even the not even the most pious guy. There is always something that you do to irritate your the people above you or under you, and etc. So someone will complain, and no one does with them. So I think that there is more to this story. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it from Raven. Maybe I can get something out of from Tulvadra.
Okay. So essentially, you are getting foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And more or less, the kind of clues and hints you get out of this is he is absolutely not what he seems. That is without question. But even where his power comes from, what race he really is, all of it, none of it is what it seems. He is not an astronaut. He is not a paladin.
The thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, Tulvadra collect information from the dead. So enemies or allies of this guy, that they are being killed or they've died in the past years, even people that actually had a glimpse of who he is and what he does, those are the kind of information that maybe she has. And if I think, knowing my Patreon, if I want to know a little bit more than I should, I think I need to pay for something. That's our deal, usually.
Yeah. Through your conversation with her over those hours, you can get a lot of general information, but she's obviously not telling you everything. And if you were to give her something in exchange, she'd definitely be willing to give you more details.
Yeah. Geraldine looked inside her little diary, where she take notes of every interesting and worthy, soul, let's call it like that she offered to her, knowing that this will take something out of it. So she look at her, and to the 700 and some that she need to give it to her, she had 50 as a number, and wait for her response.
You rephrase what you're giving to her. I'm not quite understanding in the moment.
Sorry. Okay. No, don't worry. Probably it's me not expressing myself correctly. What I'm saying is, our path is I need to give her 1,000 soul worth of info in order to get free. And right now, I took down that number to 700 and something. My offer is to add 50 more that I need to give her to pay for those extra info. But I'm not accepting. I'm offering. This is my offer. It's like I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm trying to bargain here.
All right. Yeah. She does accept that. And what you get is that this particular person has made a pact with a at least relatively powerful, she suspects extremely powerful fiend that it allows him to both hide his nature as a tiefling as well as granting him powers.
So what you're telling me is that is more like a warlock than a paladin, or is a paladin?
You would guess Hexblade Warlock.
Hexblade Warlock. Yeah, so someone like me, actually.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. This downtime will, feel fruitful, and Geraldine will get to call back to Raven, Tempest, and the rest of the, the closest member of the team, and not the rest of them. Not the mercenary. They don't need to know. And I will rely those new info.
Okay. Yeah, so all of you at least have that major update.
Yeah. If Raven asks, how do I know? I'm going to completely ignore her question.
That wouldn't fly.
Now she'll give you kind of a quizzical look for a moment, and then you can tell that this isn't her first time dealing with someone that has connections to otherworldly forces. She just makes an assumption that you have such access or knowledge. And Wrath, your last downtime activity for the day.
I think he's spending the rest of the evening probably drawing in his spellbook, honestly, but he's very intent and focused on it. It's not restful like a thorough rest would be. It's closer to craft, but I'm not trying to assign it any kind of value or anything.
Okay. So basically crafting, you're basically crafting more or less downtime. What was the thing specifically you're doing? Like, what did you say you were drawing?
Yeah, he's drawing in his spellbook. He's filling out the back end of his spellbook with art currently.
Do you want to take it as your 9th out of 10 investment for Enchantress Tools proficiency?
Sure. That'd be awesome.
Okay. You are at 9 of the 10 investment required. And then that brings it to about 9 p.m. Time for everyone to settle into their long rest, their sleeping, sentry mode, etc. Any last minute things before that?
No.
All
Sorry,
right.
what did you say?
Everyone is settling down into their long rest. Not long rest, sleep. Their short rest.
Yeah. Like their rest. No, and
Yeah.
after that you say something else that I didn't catch. Sorry about that. No, but please carry
Just is there any last minute things before starting it? Before starting your nightly rest?
on. No, I just wanted to know if there is any reaction to the information I just gave to everyone. That's it. But except for that, I'm fine. If there is anything now in the new, like in the light of those new info, everything I share, if there is anything you guys want to say or do.
This might mean we would have to break this contract in order to attack this person if it comes to that. If they're aligned with Pazuzu.
But that also tell us that is probably not going to be, the kind of person that want to join us in this rebellion. This is an assumption on my side, but what do you guys think?
We have angels, demons, we have everything on this side. This side isn't aligning with either of them. I mean, if the demon is, anti-Pazuzu, that might be an aid for us.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to get also the name of their patron. But I think if Tempest play her card correctly, maybe he will be more interested to chat and reveal.
Maybe.
This just sounds like it's getting more and more complicated. But hey, if it works out, it works out. I'm all for it.
At least you walk in prepared and with an advantage, something they will never guess you have.
Yeah, if we could find a way of cutting the patron off, that might be of benefit, but I don't know of any way of doing that.
Usually the best way is to make sure that he does or says something against this patron. The problem is, we don't know what the patron is, who or what the patron is, so I see some difficulty right there.
Yeah.
That's our specialty, though.
At the same times, there is always the good blackmailing.
I feel like we're as easily given up if we do that.
I say we just be ready for anything tomorrow. Regardless, we'll come out on top. Not being optimistic. Genuine belief.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We got Raz, my aunt, my uncle. We're good. Just saying this while actively laying down further.
Yeah.
Have a nice rest, guys.
Geraldine will walk away.
All right. So, as all of you are settling in, Wrath, Tempest, the two of you fall asleep, and Pius, you enter sentry mode. Geraldine, you've gone back to working on whatever it is you choose for the night.
Yeah.
Tempest and Wrath, the two of you, your dreams are weird. At least this initial portion of it. You find yourself kind of like floating through nothing. Almost like you're in the void, but you don't even have a body. It's like you're just a consciousness floating in the nothing. And then you hear a booming. Pius and Geraldine, you also hear this in your minds. Also, about maybe 2 hours into resting. And for all but Geraldine, it should be fairly familiar.
I cannot hear you if you're saying anything.
Yeah, it was more like a weird sound. Sorry, Jess, so we didn't catch any of that.
Nope.
How unfortunate. I can figure out why VoiceMod doesn't like to put sound bites through properly. How unfortunate. Well, that sucks. Anyways, it's deep speech. And you, Pius, Wrath, Tempest, you recognize it as that voice out in the void, the one that you believe belongs to the forgotten deity, with the phrase that translated to common. So, Geraldine, Tempest, even without knowing it from prior experience, you know it's being said. Complete your journey. Stand at my feet and bring my revival one step closer. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's the second time we've heard those words, right?
Beyond, you've heard them time and time again, actually, which is why you also have a translation of what they mean. You translated them all the way back when Nick was still in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to wrap up there. Everyone joining us, thank you for being here. And as always, I love you. Bye-bye, Kupo.